Good morning, everybody. Last day of the 3-day conference, the very first session, that to dealing with a subject, probably many of you may not be much excited about it, hear about public libraries in India. Nevertheless, I'm happy there are some people. I hope more will join as the time passes. What I will do, I am supposed to take about half an hour. We lost already some time. I will try to finish it early. I will put it in 3 parts. Talking about future of public libraries in India, I thought I will spend some time to talk about the current situation. What is happening in India? There are other people going to talk about the same thing after that. There will be contradictions. There will be differences of opinion. So all depends on how one look at it. The second part, we should not be doing all these things in isolation. What is happening in some of the other countries? Some very good things, some very bad things. Which way we go? I think that is very important to know what is happening around us. The third part is, I will come back to India. What are the possibilities? That again, I will say based on my own analysis, others may differ. I put a kind of this one, these are the possibilities that is likely to happen to India. And from that, I'm not going to choose anything, but I throw it open to others to see what are the options available. Finally, I would say very finally, we got more or less the actual figures. Thanks to my friends in RRLF, we did it with a vengeance. At one stage, we said we had more than 1.5 lakhs public libraries in India. But now, the figure is about 46,000 plus. Again, there may be some difference in there also. That is what we have. And we are on the top of the global public library table. No other country has got so many public libraries in the world. This includes a kind of a very general analysis of what type of libraries constitute these 46,000. Very large city central library, state central libraries to tiny, very tiny rural libraries. Even that may not stand the test of being called a public library. Even that is included in the 46,000. Where we stand in the global table? I have taken only a few countries which I know, or some of you, we often talk about UK, USA, and Singapore, etc. That's a table. We have one library for every 28,000 population. India. Always we compare India with China. China, it is 4.5 lakhs population, has got only one public library. So we are well placed quantitatively. That is the table. What is the state of our public library system, the India public library system as on today? A sweeping remark, I would say, certainly not good. I won't even mind saying we are in a deplorable state of public libraries in India. Really, I have got my own reasons to say that, which I'll come in a minute to that. Yes, number-wise, we are on the top quantitatively, but qualitatively, we are very, very low. There may be other developing countries also in that condition, but we are a long way to go, very, very long way to go. Why did I say that? We are in a deplorable state. Government being the main stakeholder, all these 46,000 are supported by government. Not private libraries, government funded libraries, supported by government. It is a totally, severely neglected by governments. So government means the central government, that is government of India, as well as the state governments. Another very sorry figure is we reach only 1.5% of our population. That's all. 128 crore people, in that only 1.5% of our citizens use public libraries. Members of public library use public libraries. When I come later, in some other countries, it goes up to 80%. Some of us were in Singapore about 2 months back. I asked the question to one of the Indians there, a very senior officer, just retired. What is the level of use by Indians in Singapore? Singapore has got the largest population is Chinese, then comes Malay, then is Indians. She took a few minutes, she had to telephone somebody because she has already retired. Then she said it is more than 80%. 80% of Indians in Singapore use Singapore public library system. What does it mean? When they are in India, they are not interested. When they are in Singapore, they are interested. I would say it is what is on offer that makes a person to come to the library or not to come to the library. What is on offer? Yes, Singapore are probably one of the best public library system. What they offer is world-class facilities, infrastructure, technology, collection, the smartness of these libraries and whatnot. What we spend on public libraries? This again, kind of we collected some figure and a guess estimate. It's about maybe 8 to 10 rupees per capita expenditure on public libraries annually. 8 rupees. In that, central government spend about 40 to 45 paise. The rest is from state governments. That's all. And the highest figure I saw was in Finland. Finland spent equivalent of about 5,000 rupees per capita on public libraries. 5,000 and we are spending 8 rupees. Too traditional. When I started seeing public libraries, when I see public libraries now, I don't see much of a difference. You see some computers here and there, that's all. But otherwise, there has been no major significant change in public library system during the last 50 years. We are far behind, years behind. I don't know how many years, 100 years, 200 years, we are far behind. Infrastructure is very poor. Technology application is yet to make a mark. As I said, you see some computers here and there. Half of them won't work. And most of them are used by staff. Hardly, very few libraries offer this facility to the public. Staff, demotivated, untrained, don't possess any new type of skills and competencies. About 70% of India's population live in rural areas, villages. But that is the most neglected sector, rural libraries. There are many. As you have seen the first I think about 20,000 or something. They are the most neglected lot. No credible data. All India level, we don't have. Library level, we don't have. State level, we don't have. RRL sent a questionnaire to all the state directors seeking very basic information. Very basic. Many of them did not have it. Many of them did not send it. Whatever they sent, we very look at it, we know it is all wrong. But in spite of it, from that, my own interpretation and their own interpretation, all those figures what I quoted was taken from what these directors sent to RRLF. Again, I will talk about the Singapore collection, libraries. We went to, at least Shadi was also there, and who else? So that's all. And went to half a dozen libraries. All libraries, each and every book had a very neat, clearly stuck, well printed call number on the spine. I mean, every book means, I mean every book. We walk into any of our libraries, not only public libraries, other libraries also, university libraries or college libraries, school. What percentage of our collection will have a proper fine label? I don't know, public libraries, it may not be 2%. I mean, that's smart, that library. So good actually. No torn books, no books with what you call is spoiled spine. Everything is so smart. Building, you don't spend any money in maintaining buildings. And everything, in fact, poorly maintained. Everything is poorly maintained. Fans won't work, lights won't work, bathroom will be, I mean, better not to say about it. The public libraries are bypassed by the younger generation. You don't see them coming into the library. It's a fact. I do ask this question. I do visit libraries more in my state now for some function or other thing. You don't see them. They don't come. Couple of reasons for that is the, what you call it, the ambience, the smartness of the collection, no technology application. Staff are not interested in helping them. So the Y generation, they prefer to keep it out of their reach. They boycott it. They don't go to public libraries. We were again, I am sorry to say it again, about a year back in Australia, the Victoria Central Library, There are about 6,000 to 7,000 people visit that library every day. Massive reading room. And we asked that question, and it was full of youngsters. Full of, I would say about 70 to 80% were that age group. I mean, we'd say between 30 and 40. We asked the question, what brings them to your libraries? They say the ambience, the connectivity, and no questions asked, no security check, nothing. You just walk in. That's all. So friendly, so friendly. As I said, out of the 46,000, many will not even qualify to be called libraries. I mean it actually. I mean it. It is spread out the library. We have got 31 state, I don't know, is it 30 or 31, I think. The spread, a state with 30 million people, that is 3 crore people, we say is crore, has got only 27 libraries. That is a flourishing state of Haryana. Only 27 libraries. That means 9 libraries for every 1 crore population. Another state of more or less the same population, you have 4,000 plus libraries for every 1 crore population. That's a kind of disparity among states. This is a very flourishing state, Haryana. Kerala have got other plus points because it is known for its literacy rate. We don't know whatever it is. Should not be so much gap between these two states. 9 crores and 1 crore and 41,000 other 9 libraries. These are all taken from the statistics collected by RRLF, the statistics sent by the directors of public libraries. So there is no manipulation in that. These are all just figures given by them. Everything is not that bad. There are certain good things also. We have India, 1 library for every 28,000 population. Good actually. China, it is 4.5 lakhs, 1 library. I would say this is the most important, I would say, point as far as India is concerned. Public. citizens like public libraries. 2 surveys were conducted in the last 1.5 years, one by RRLF, another by IPLM. IPLM survey was done by IMRB, the big market research agency in India. The other one was done by Ipsos, again another major market research agency. Both these surveys showed that these questions were asked to the people. One the question I remember was, the answer was, public libraries are important for the society. That is what people say, public libraries are important for the society. About 92% said that one. I mean, that is a very, very important point. And another point is, when we try to, or when authorities try to shift a library or close a library, the public reaction is so much that very often they have to change the decision. One is, where is Anna Centenary Library? Kamachi is somewhere here. Yeah. A big library, probably that would have been the best library in India or Asia. Few years back was constructed in Chennai, huge library, very modern, very up to date, very smart. And within months, the government decided to close down that library and convert it into a children's hospital. The public unrest was so much, and they even went to the court. The court decided not to close it. What they call is a stay order. That included the intelligentsia of the city, the students, the professionals, everyone reacted very violently against that decision. That library is now, everything is over, is open, it is working. I was with the British Council. When I was heading it, we had 13 libraries, and during my time, 3 libraries were closed. How difficult it was to close down a library, how difficult it was. There were court cases, there were midnight candlelight march, there were threats, there were posters all around the city from airport to the hotel where the High Commissioner was saying, go back, give our library back. Otherwise you go back, don't come to Lucknow. Like that, that was the kind of a reaction from public. So that public support, I think it may be in other countries also. We hear about what all things are happening in UK, how people protested, in USA how people protested. In many states, the existing libraries are located in very central places, substantial buildings. For example, one example, Delhi. Delhi has got a very good comparatively good public library system called Delhi Public Libraries. One of those libraries, probably you can't think of a more central place in Delhi than the Sarojini Nagar or the Chandni Chowk area. There every inch might be costing crores of rupees. We have huge libraries in places like that in Delhi. People who have seen Delhi will realize that how difficult it is to get a place in Sarojini Nagar or Chandni Chowk. And it is true of everyone. Bangalore, in Kapan Park, next to the High Court. In Hyderabad, what a huge building in the center of Hyderabad. It is true in many places. Libraries are mentioned in the Constitution. That is a strength. Though it is a very notional mention, very notional. There is a line, libraries. We interpret and say that is public libraries. That is a strength. Those people at that time thought of libraries. We have 2 governmental institutions to oversee public library development in the country. One is Raja Ram Mohan Roy Library Foundation under the Ministry of Culture. The second is the new organization, National Mission on Libraries. I am sure you have got a session after, you might be speaking more about it. I will leave it at that. A third organization started about 3 years back with funding from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, a kind of a project, 3-year project, to modernize libraries, to bring in a change into the system in select states, 4 or 5 states. I think it had the results that we got in 3 years' time, unbelievable. Libraries went through a total transformation. Librarians became heroes of those cities or towns. And they were on the news channel, they were almost every day in the newspaper, and they got invitation to visit places, to attend the program. I mean, that did. So it can happen, it can be done. I mean, that was just a test case, it can be done. And we have got, I don't know, 19 or 20 states with library legislation. Somewhere says 19, other places. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Many states in India have a legislation-based public library service. I would say that that doesn't mean the service in those states are better than the other states. It is one and the same. Only thing is, yes, you can say we have a legislation, otherwise condition is more or less same. There is a new interest in public libraries, a new interest in public libraries. For example, this conference, very interesting to see. I got 3 or 4 sessions on public libraries. Why should IIMs, you have got your own areas of concern, concentrate on that, and why public libraries? I attended a conference a few months back in Vizag that was done by Delnet, NACLIN. There was a substantial half a day on public libraries. Of all, DRTC, DRTC and public libraries go hand in hand. They had a half day on public libraries. So there is a new interest in public libraries, and most of the conferences now you see a session on public libraries. People write about public libraries. The most eminent writer, Ramchandra Guha, I must warn, all these are very cynical about public libraries. What he said was, a city like Bangalore, where the IT lords have made fortunes, we don't have a decent public library in Bangalore. Sanjay Baru was the previous media advisor to the previous Prime Minister. Very recently it came, about 10 days back. He says he was in China. He saw a huge crowd in front of a building. He asked the driver, what is happening there? He said, sir, there's a new library. Just open, people are waiting to, people who are inside to come out so that they can go inside. Then he said, what happening to India's public libraries? We had the most ambitious National Knowledge Commission, National Mission on Libraries. I thought, let me go and find out what is happening. He logged into National Mission on Libraries. He said, I was so frustrated. It was updated 6 years back, the website. Nothing in that is worthwhile. So these are all cynical, but people are taking interest. People should write, actually. Even if it is cynical, critical, people should write. Questions in Parliament. There is a e-Parliament or something like that. Just put in and see the number of questions that has been asked by members of Parliament. But the answers, intelligent questions, serious questions, but the answers are all routine answers, not answering the what you call the intention of the question. Yes, we have RRLF, we have got matching grant, non-matching grant. Last year we did for 24,000 public libraries. More or less the standard reply for all questions. The question has got certain intent, which is not in the question, it could have been, but the ministers give a very vague answer. The parliamentarians support public libraries. It is very, very prominent in Kerala. You find in almost every library, this wing was constructed with support from so-and-so MLA or MP. I think it happens in other libraries also. other states also. Now, a global, what is happening? Very, as I said, some are very frustrating, some are interesting. UK, I know more about UK because I used to work for the British Council. There was a time UK used to have the best public library system in the world. But now it is in a pathetic state. So many libraries closed in the last few years, and it says more to follow. Public reacted. The authorities said, you don't have to tell all these things. We know all these things, the importance of public libraries, how much public libraries are contributed to the development of nation, development of individuals. We know all those things. But we don't have the resources to support public libraries. That's it. If you want, we will hand over the library to you, to the community. You run it the way you want. We don't put any conditions. You run it. So many libraries are now run by communities, by volunteers. That means certain libraries are working only one day in a week, few hours in a week, like that. Somebody wrote actually, UK no more have a national public library policy and no standards, no nothing, cooperation, nothing. It has completely changed. Take over or face closure. That's it. Many libraries were taken over by public, many were closed. I mean, not surprised actually. See the statistics in UK from last that for 13, 14 years. Book stock went down, inquiries went down, issues went down, footfall went down. Everything was in the declining mode. Why should government support an institution that is so fast declining in its services? The crucial institution is being neglected when we need it most. Even major cities like Atlanta, the entire branches are being closed. I just took that two examples only. And as I said, there are some bright sparks also. Everywhere it is not that bad. Canada, it's happened again about 2 weeks back. A new library in Calgary, 4,300 crore, equivalent of 1,300 crore rupees. A cultural hub. They are gone for that from library. It is just not library, it is much more than a library. See the images of that new library. That's it. Finland. Probably Finland has got the best public library system in the world. And the Venice Art Biennale last year, what Finland showcased is public library building. For Art Biennale, they showcased the public library building in Finland. A new library was opened to celebrate 100 years of Finland's independence, a new library in Helsinki. The state-of-the-art, probably the best modern state-of-the-art library building, just opposite the parliament. The location, the what you call it, that's the kind of importance that is given to public libraries. That is the Helsinki library. China, a lot of appeared in social media in India about this, the new library. This is what about Sanjay Baru wrote. Will we ever be able to see something like that in India? The answer is certainly no. I don't think we will ever see a library like that, public library of this type in India. Singapore, very few libraries, only 26 libraries. As I highlighted, 80% of Indians are members there. I come to the last part of my, what is going to happen in India? I have listed 3 possibilities. Any of these things are possible. The government may take a determined decision After all, they too will be seeing all these things, what is happening in other countries, the importance of public libraries, what it can contribute to national development, how we can contribute to making a knowledge society, decide to enhance the investment from rupees 8 to say 1,000 rupees. Can. You can't rule it out because citizens need it. It is more a political decision. If 95% of the population says we like public libraries, government should listen to that in their own interest. So this is a possibility. We may see in maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years a major transformation happening to India's public library system. I wish that happens. It may remain as a wish, but can't rule it out. Second is, there is a why public libraries, that is becoming louder and louder. Yesterday we heard in the morning, why do you need public libraries? I don't go to public libraries anymore. Why do we need it? Why to invest on a dying institution? Everything is available without going to a library. Maybe that is another possibility. So we may not see public libraries in India, a gradual death after say 10 years or something like that. A third option, we will continue. To me looks like that is the more realistic possibility. We will continue as we are now because our users don't know what is happening in Helsinki library or in Canada or this one. The benchmark, they are not aware of the benchmark. Even our administrators and politicians and ministers, they don't know the benchmark, what a good public library can be. So we may continue as we are and neglected, totally neglected, taken for granted institution. 10 years time, the three possibilities. We may see a totally transformed set of public libraries. We may have something like what you have in Helsinki in Delhi or in Mumbai. Oh, sorry. Or you may not see any public libraries. You can rule it out also. If it can happen in UK, why not in India? You get clues from other countries. A third one, yes, they will be there. And who uses no public libraries mostly? Mostly, I'm being very honest. People like me, people are retired, super senior citizens, they have nothing else to do at home. They go to the nearest library, read, keep on reading newspaper one after the other. That's not the purpose of a public library. And our librarians are happy with that. Our government is happy because people are coming to the library. So these are the three possibilities. I don't say which one but any of these is a possibility. That's it. I stop with that. Thank you for your
You can take just one or two questions. So if you have a question, please be very specific.
questions, comment, observations, anything is welcome.
Just a small correction on the statistics on China. China has 51,000 libraries. So if you go to the OCLC's global statistics on various library systems, so it compares equally with India. There are, of course, you pointed out on the latest, the Library of the Future, which demonstrates the importance China has accorded to the library system. There are quite a few comparables. South Africa, Brazil, Russia, China, to India. So in many parts of the world, the outlook is not that depressing. Outlook is really progressing. So that's a comment I wanted to make.
Thank you. Thank you.
My question is, do you know of a database or comprehensive listing of all the public libraries in India? And you mentioned the numbers, so somebody has counted them, but is there a resource available that lists them? So that's one question. And the other is an observation. So this beautiful picture of the library in China that was just mentioned is interesting in that, you see all the books that go around the library, they're pictures of books. There really are, it's a very, very tiny collection in the library. It's really a building that's a library and not kind of a functional library. When I saw those pictures, this is exciting, and then I tried to find more and more about it, and the more I looked, I realized the less was there. So, very, very interesting. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. See, India, the situation is, I think people want libraries, government want libraries, but the investment on libraries is comparatively very, very low. One of the reasons for all these things, the negative things, is that investment on libraries. No staff training, no premises maintenance, no expansion, no technology. So all these things because of funding problem. I don't know when that will change, whether it will change at all.
Thank you, Jayarajan, for an excellent review of the status and the future possibilities. Probably the next our panel discussion should take up some of the issues you are raising, because you are also there. What I feel, if we really want to solve the issues, the review from the top should be reversed, that we should look from bottom upwards. I have been closely watching at least libraries, public libraries in Karnataka. I will only take two incidents to say why we should go from bottom upward. There was a project called digitizing the entire Kannada books. At that time it was about 1 lakh and odd. It just vanished with crores of rupees sunk. You don't find it. That's one thing. Another is, by and large, the legislation made in Karnataka to get 6 paisa out of every rupee of tax public pay, that is 100% of the public pay, of course for 1.5% of the public who use public libraries, has been created in such a problematic way in the Act that it is collected by municipalities and corporations. So, unless the corporation and municipality people representatives are involved, they are not parting with the money. Yeah. This is about resource raising. About resource distribution, yesterday I think the writer Vivek Shanbag rightly said that close down all your libraries in Karnataka, public libraries, he said. Because it is more or less serving the purpose of distributing subsidy to authors and fictitious publishers. I mean, I just highlighted the two, but thank you for giving such a wonderful overview.
Thank you. Sridhar, it is not only in Karnataka. That is true in many other states. The local bodies don't pass on the money to the public library development. They use it for other things or keep it. I heard, I don't know whether I am right, Kamachi can tell me, they constructed that Anna Centenary Library from the money that was accumulated, which was not given to the library authorities, but it was kept, and there was a 400 crores or something like that. With that money, they constructed that library. Hyderabad, Telangana, there are court cases. The court says the local body to hand over the money to the library authorities, still they are not done. Our friend Lakshman Rao writes often in newspapers this problem. Often he writes in newspapers. They are not handing over the money for library development, they are collecting it. So it is not only in Karnataka, many states it happens.